Hi, my name is Devshi Kumar. I'm a mental performance coach. I work mainly with founders and athletes, and I help them transform their mindsets, perform better, and thrive. Today, I'm talking a bit about the importance of a routine and why it's detrimental to your overall performance. When you have a set routine in place, it signals to your brain that these are the activities that need to be done. It becomes easier for you to show up, do the work, and find ways to improve. When you set a goal and you decide a specific routine to get to that goal, what happens in a couple of weeks is that you're very motivated. So your drive is high, your motivation is high, you're very interested in pursuing that goal. But when it comes to about week 3 or 4 is when you experience a dip towards showing up and doing the work. How do you get past that dip in motivation or drive, and how do you stick to the routine that you set out for yourself? What really works well with most of my clients is backward integration. So let's say you have a goal of hitting a specific amount of reps at the gym. That's a big goal that you're chasing. You want to backward integrate that into tiny steps that you can take on a daily basis. You also want to regard into factors different stressors that come into place. So life stressors, you could have an emergency call at work, there could be something unexpected that happens throughout your week. How do you combat that and still stick to the goal that you're chasing? You adapt. Easier said than done, because you can't predict the future, but you can definitely predict what you're doing right now in this moment. And if you set an intention that this is the activity I want to focus on for the next 4 or 5 hours and just eliminate all the distractions, it becomes easier for you to focus on that goal. A routine signals to your brain that this is the script, this is what you have to follow through, this is the timetable you're sticking to. And if you remember, when you were in school or when you were in college or even at university, you were given a specific timetable. You were told to complete things at certain hours, you were given deadlines, and you had to stick to them, or else there would be consequences. The issue that happens with adult life is when you're given way too much freedom, it becomes harder for you to decipher what needs to be focused on and what needs to be eliminated, which is where a coach comes in. But sometimes, if you can practice more self reflection and identify that this is good and this is bad, it becomes easier for you to negate the bad habits and focus on the good habits. That being said, everyone's definition of good habits and bad habits is different. What's good to me is subjective, what's good to you is subjective as well. But knowing what makes you feel alive, what makes you feel better after you do it, and what makes you feel happy in the long run is a good way to decide which habits to focus on. Building a routine is supposed to be a strenuous process. It's not supposed to happen overnight. And if it was that easy, we'd all be completely happy and nothing would bother our peace of mind. But if you take out time before you go to sleep and as soon as you wake up, those are the two times your brain is the most susceptible to information. So you want to make sure you're priming it in the right way and decide what are the activities you want to focus on today, what are the activities you want to focus on tomorrow. Becomes easy for you to plan, and then you have a set by set process to getting what you want. So yeah, this is a bit about routine and why it's so important to know what you're doing throughout the day, what you're doing for the next, let's say, 2-3 weeks, and then focusing it on a monthly basis, then making it bigger into a 6 month and then a 1 year plan. I hope this video helped you understand a bit about why it's important to set a routine, stick to it, and follow it, even when everything else seems to be distracting you and you seem to be bothered. Just stick to the ultimate routine and then watch the results. Thank you.